Glad you've been back, everybody. The Manhattan grand jury will not reconvene until next week amid reports that District Attorney, so-called, Alvin Bragg, is struggling to convince them that his political attack against President Trump is actually a legal case. Today, Bragg responded to a House GOP letter refusing to share testimony and evidence supporting the charges. Bragg claims it is, quote, an unlawful incursion into New York's sovereignty, and Congress is not the appropriate branch to review a pending criminal case. Joining me now to react to this and many other things, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Lady, it is great to see you. Legal experts are telling us, when we talk to, that reining in Soros DAs is the job of the states. But shouldn't conservatives in Congress explore ways to punish states that don't stop the abuses of these leftist DAs in the 50 states?
Absolutely, Chris, and I'm happy to join you to talk about this issue. You see, what we have happening in America today is weaponization of government, and this is an issue that Republicans in Congress care a lot about. Now, the real problem here is the attorney Bragg from Manhattan. He's not concerned about Manhattan crime. He's not concerned about murderers. He's not concerned about rapists. He's not concerned about all the awful crime that's happening to Manhattan and the taxpayers there who fund his salary and his office, by the way. He's concerned about using his office and abusing his power to please his big donor, George Soros, to go after President Trump, who's also the top Republican presidential candidate. And that's where Congress comes in. You see, we are trying our best to stop the weaponization of government, because not only do we have people like this DA Bragg, we have the FBI and the Department of Justice going after parents that want to hold their school boards accountable, pro-life protesters who are having prayer vigils outside abortion clinics, and, of course, the never-ending witch hunt against people who walked in the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah, and don't forget parents they call domestic terrorists there in Merrick Garland's Department of Injustice and FBI. Speaking of which, tomorrow you're going to lead a bipartisan delegation, well, so-called bipartisan, 2 Democrats seem to care enough, from the Oversight Committee to the D.C. jail housing January 6th political prisoners. You're making this trip after rumors that the prisoners are going to be transferred out of that facility. What do you hope to accomplish tomorrow?
Well, the D.C. jail has a very bad reputation for a very long time, and it's not just Republicans that are upset about the jail, it's Democrats as well. As a matter of fact, the U.S. Marshals transferred 400 inmates out of the D.C. jail back in late 2021, around the time where I had first toured the jail. None of those inmates were pretrial January 6th defendants. Those were already inmates serving time after conviction, not related to January 6th. So you see, the D.C. jail is a very bad jail, and it's mismanaged, and they violate people's human rights. The reason why we are touring the jail, though, is how they're treating the January 6th defendants, but also to provide oversight to the D.C. jail as a whole. I serve on the Oversight Committee, and that's our job. Congress has jurisdiction over the District of Columbia. We provide the funding for this jail, and we have every single right to go in there. Here's what's concerning, Chris. We've had a lot of reports from families and attorneys that represent the January 6th defendants. They have told us that over the past week, the January 6th defendants have had to spend their time scrubbing and cleaning and painting the walls in the area that they have to stay in, the area that they're forced to be housed in, sometimes for up to 23 hours a day. So they're cleaning it up in preparation for Congress to come in and take a look. The other disturbing thing is we've already got reports of some of the January 6th defendants. They have been transferred out to other jails, but there still are some in there that we need to see and talk to, as well as look at the rest of the jail. And the last time I was there was we could smell drugs. It was disgusting. So I'm hoping that more members go. I will tell you, Chris, unfortunately, there's 2 names missing from the list, and that's Cori Bush and AOC. And I'm really shocked that Cori Bush isn't on my list to attend the tour, because she's always talking about prison and jails, and she says that those are her people. So she should have been on my list, and hopefully she makes one of the next tours.
Well, okay. Last question. I've only got about a minute left, Congresswoman. The late, great Rush Limbaugh said they will tell you who they fear. Joe Biden or somebody on his team got your name right, trying to blame you for Biden's veto of the loser environmental social governance, this prohibition that was supposed to be put out, bipartisan prohibition against ESG. Biden tweeting, "I just vetoed my first bill. This bill would risk your retirement savings by making it illegal to consider risk factors MAGA House Republicans don't like. Your plan manager should be able to protect your hard-earned savings whether Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene likes it or not." He likes to blame conservatives for his own failings, Congresswoman, but he isn't telling the truth, is he? It is his support of ESG that puts your constituents' retirement savings at risk, right?
That's right. And his support of ESG is his support of his own big, rich, elite donors. You know, Joe Biden, he serves the people at the top of those big corporations who are all about so-called equality and social governance, which really means that they're all woke. And that's what the Democrat Party is about. They're about wokeism and serving those ideals and those disturbing identity politic issues. But you know what my response was to Joe Biden? It was, you know what, Joe Biden, most Americans, as a matter of fact, all Americans don't get to receive big checks from China, just like you and the rest of your family. And I know that because on the Oversight Committee, we've got the bank records, we've got the receipts, and we have a lot more coming. So we'll be exposing Joe Biden and his family.
Look forward to seeing all of that. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, always appreciate the visit.
Thanks so much, Chris.